Hi, my name is Daniel Spoone. I'm a Prodigy Protégé, and I will be competing at the 2016 Amateur Championships at Bowling Green. First of all, I'm going to start out and let you see what's in my bag. I'm going to start out with my distance drivers. I'm going to start out with my favorite ones here. Okay, first I carry 1X1. I like this disc a lot. As you can tell, it's really overstable, it's really flat. I like to throw this when it's really windy outside with a good headwind, or if I just need a utility disc for like a cut roller. I like to throw it on a lot of rollers and stuff like that. But usually when I throw it, I try to keep it flat, and then it'll always have a consistent hyzer on it. Never fails to have a hyzer. Next, I have 3 D3s in my bag. I carry two 400 GD1s. I carry this green 400 GD1. I've had it in my bag for over a year now. I love this disc. It's sort of like my X1, but it's a longer flying disc. It's still consistent in the headwind. I can throw it flat and always rely on this disc to go a long way, but still finish left. Next, I have this 400 D1, 400 GD1. I love this disc. It's been in my bag since last year at Bowling Green. Dave Greenwell hooked me up with 5 of these, and they're still in my bag. Well, one of them is still left. This is probably one of my most thrown discs. I throw this with any wind. I can throw it with a headwind or a tailwind, and it's always a really straight flying disc. I can throw it and it'll drift off to the right and then still finish left, but I can throw this disc up to 400 to 475 feet if I really get onto it. This is my favorite D1 in my bag. It's really got some connections with this disc. This is a 400G D1. I really got this one beat into my liking, and here recently it's been a key asset in my bag. I throw it with a lot of tailwind. I can throw it really far with a tailwind. It's not a really stable disc. It'll flip if I put it on an anhyzer, but if I hyzer flip it, I can get this disc to fly a consistent 450 foot every time I throw it, and always know where it's going to end up. Move on to my D2s and D3s. I just recently put this 400 series D2 in my bag. It's a good, consistent hyzer flip disc. Don't throw it much, but it's good to have in the bag for long tunnel shots or something like that. I like to throw it on hyzer and let it pop up, and it'll always go this way, but always still finish out left like the D1s, but it's longer flying. But it likes to get a little flippy in the wind. Next are the D3s. This is a 400G D3. I throw this disc for long anhyzer shots, or if I have a good, really strong tailwind, I'll throw it for a hyzer flip distance shot. But usually, I just throw this for a anhyzer. This disc right here is a 400D D3. Throw this for a very bunch of different shots. I can roll it. It's actually my most consistent roller shot. There's a few holes where I can just put it down and it goes a really long way without flipping over and coming back for a lot of my other rollers. But I can also throw it really far if I put it on a hyzer with a tailwind, but I still trust it with a little bit of a headwind. So I like that. Got this 400G D3 off of my buddy DJ Baldwin up in Michigan. Really cool guy, but anyway, I love this disc. I can throw it and it'll, anhyzer, and then it always finishes straight. Usually just doesn't have much finish left. It just likes to stay straight or it goes right. Next is my 400G D4. It's a 166 weight. As you can see, It's really beat in. It's got some character to it. Throw this disc for short rollers or uphill shots where I want to get it, and I can throw it and put it down pretty steep and still be confident with it to roll back. Always finishes right. Next, I'm going to start with my hybrid series. I have 3 H1s in my bag. I have this 400 H1. Really good disc, really stable, like the X1. I like to throw it with a thumber. Love it for the thumbers, and I love it for short shots that really need some finesse. And I like to throw it with a fan grip too. I don't know if anybody does that, but I like to throw H1s with a fan grip for short distance. This is a 147 400G H1. It is really awesome. It is flippy sometimes. When I put it on a anhyzer and a headwind, it will flip, but it's a really consistent disc for thumbers. That's all I throw this disc for, is thumbers. Because I know I can get it over the trees because it's really light, and it has a better flip, and I like how it flips. It flips faster and gets right quicker. So I like that. I just recently put this 750 H1 in my bag, and it is really stable. I don't ever throw it in the rocks, just an open field shot disc. You know, it's just really stable. It always finishes left. So there's that one. And this one's actually 752. I messed up there. But now I'll move on to my H3. This disc, I love it. It's really long, flying disc for me. It's really important. Beat in, and I can always rely on it to fly out there, and I throw it flat, and it'll always go about 350 feet, and then it'll start to hyzer. But if I throw it on a hyzer, it's going to carry that hyzer out. It's a really consistent flying disc for just a long hyzer, or just, you know, those shots that you can't hardly throw a mid-range there, so you want to step it up a little bit. Next, I'll move on to my fairways. Don't carry a lot of those, but I've got a few. I have a 400 series F1. This disc is really stable for its weight. It's a 161. I like to throw it for shots that are range around 350 to 375 feet. I like forehanding this disc. It's really smooth off your hand. Just a really consistent disc that'll finish left every time for me. This is a 400 F5. My buddy Zach Melton actually got me into throwing the purple ones. It's an awesome flyer. I can hyzer flip this one, and it goes really straight with a consistent flip up every time. It flips up level, goes a little bit to the right, and then keeps going and finishes left. But it's a really long flying disc, so you would like it. Now to my mid-ranges. I have a 750 F2. This disc, M2, my bad. And this disc is probably the most stable mid-range that I have in my bag. I could throw it on a hyzer and flip it up, but it's always finished left for me. Never once has it turned over. You'll see me throw this on holes ranging anywhere from 300 to 340 feet, maybe. That's pushing it, but 300 feet definitely with this disc. And then I'll move on to this. This one is actually one of the misprints. It's called an M2, but I think it's an M3. I'm not really sure. I just love the way it flies. I haven't even looked inside of it. So it says M3, so whatever. It's a fader. It used to be solid pink, and now it's white because I keep it in my bag, and it's my most thrown disc. This disc, no matter how I throw it, if I throw it on a hyzer, it's going to flip up, and I can always rely on it to stay straight for me and never go right. But if I have a strong headwind coming at me, I can always throw it level, and just have it glide straight, but it might have a tad bit of turn, but it'll never finish right. It always finishes dead straight all the time. And then this is a 400G M4. It's a team stamp. It's a max weight. It's a really good hyzer flip disc that'll finish right every time. It's got a strong finish to the right. I don't throw this disc very far, but I like to throw it for short turnover shots or anything that I would rather play safe and lay up with a shot. You'll see me throw that a lot. Now on my A series. These are awesome. The A1, this is a really light A1. It is a 167, but it actually turned out to be the one that I like the most. It's still really stable. I can throw it like this and it still comes out. So this disc, you'll see this disc pulled out of the bag to throw forehand. I like throwing forehands with it. It comes off the hand really smooth, and it really is easy to get through a gap because you can almost throw it like you're throwing a roller and it'll come out of it and go usually right where you want it to for me, and it just hyzers out perfect. This is the new A3. You know, I love how it flies. It's a longer disc than the A1 here. It'll go about 50 feet for me farther, you know, and it still finishes left. It's a really straight flyer, but it still has a lot of hyzer on it. It's not straight by any means, but it has consistent hyzer. It's really like a shorter M2 for my definition of it. Down to my putters. I have a bunch of them. Love them. For my PA1s, I have two 750 test PA1s I got off Charlie Davenport here in East Tennessee. These are probably the most stable putters I have. This disc has always been reliable. I can throw it on a hyzer, and it'll stay on a hyzer the whole line. And this one here is a little newer, so it's obviously going to be a little more stable than this one that's beat in more. But I like to throw these discs anywhere from, you know, 250 to 300 feet, ranging in closer than that. They're really good for if I split my fingers out and throw forehand. They tend to fly really good on a forehand too. On to my PA3s. I only have one, but this is a 300 PA3. It's a really good straight putter. I can throw it like this, pretty hard, and still have a straight shot that'll just drift straight and to the right. Always to the straight and right. Never hyzers. Always finishes right. Not a very long flying disc, but it's a very reliable, good disc to have in the bag. On to my PA4s. I have three. I have a team PA4. You know, this is just a really stable for a PA4, but I love the way it flies because I can really get on it and still put a little hyzer on it, and it always just, it'll flip up and then it'll just go straight right. So I like throwing it in the woods a lot. You'll see me throw it in the woods for straight hyzer flips that are pretty short. But other than that, I don't really throw this disc because the wind tends to mess with it a lot. This 350G PA4 was just recently put in my bag. I love it for the short, really short turnovers, or just fan grip, run at it, just run at a shot that's about 70 feet, but that's about all I use it for. I don't like to throw it in the woods because of the plastic. It'll sort of chip bad, because I threw it here in Morristown and it's got some chips in it, and it gets way more flippy than I'd like it to be. But see me throw this disc with a lot of hyzer and still have it always finish right, strong right. It's probably the most flippy disc in my bag. This is my favorite PA4. It's a 750 PA4, Tennessee colors, because that's my favorite team. And you know, I can throw this PA4 hard on a hyzer and it'll flip up and it will go dead straight. And never, I haven't had it flip once other than in a headwind, but usually you don't throw a PA4 in the headwind. I like to throw it and have it just glide out straight and just finish straight, and just because I like not having a disc that's going to flip over and catch an edge and roll. Now onto the most important part of your bag, your putters. These putters have a lot of character to them, as you can tell. They're beat up, they've probably got dirt on them from last year's Bowling Green. But I got these off of Zach Melton, my awesome mentor from Prodigy Disc. He's a Prodigy Pro. But got these off of him. They are really straight. I think them being so flexible and soft, that's helped them be straight, but they still have hyzer. So I like to spin putt with them, and I like push putting too for a lot of tailwind shots. How I like to putt in tailwinds. But this disc, these putters have really been reliable for me. Haven't missed many with them, but I always miss a few. And then here's the new Prodigy backpack bag. These are awesome. If you ain't got one, you should try them out. I've got some, show you what's in here, not much. I got a little bit of some cherry pies left over from last round. Got some tournament papers. It's also got this nice little front pocket here. You can put your scorecard or your wallet, whatever, in. And I've got this nice little spot here I can, drop my towels in. That's where I keep my towels and stuff in there. Here's the new towels that Prodigy just come out with. They're awesome. They're like a sham wow is what I think they are. They're awesome. They will dry your disc as soon as it touches them. You can keep 5 discs up here too if you really pack it in there. And then it's got the other side. Just not much, but it's got the room you need. And then I've got this awesome rain fly. They come out with a rain fly for this bag, so I don't get wet. My name's Daniel Spoone. I'm from Morristown, Tennessee. Thank you.